Hi, this is Sean Winstead with 4Roads. In this video, you'll see a brief demonstration of Scribus CMS, our content management system for Telligent Community. Before we dive into it, first let me tell you why we created Scribus. Over the past 3 years, as we've built social media communities for our customers, we noticed that they often had the need to create content and place it wherever they needed to in the page hierarchy. We saw that sometimes more than one person was involved in the process. We saw that they wanted the content to be searchable and that they wanted to do it themselves. Telligent Community came with a thing called a content part, and that really didn't serve us too well. And wikis worked okay, but they weren't exactly what we needed. So we came up with Scribus. With Scribus, customers can put together pages dynamically using widgets. The pages can be versioned. One person can edit the page and another person review and publish the page, so there's a little bit of workflow. Content on the pages can be searchable. It will be indexed by the Telligent Community search engine, and pages can be tagged. They're also very SEO friendly. Scribus pages are organized into what we call a CMS section. A CMS section is equivalent to a weblog or a discussion forum or a media gallery. You can have as many CMS sections as you want, and you can attach them to any group or subgroup within your community's group structure. Creating a CMS is as simple as clicking this link. We'll give the CMS a name. So let's pretend this one's going to host pages about our company. Give it a unique URL, and we'll specify that it is attached to the site root. And at this point you should see that we could attach this particular CMS section to any group within the group structure of the community. We'll click Save, and we have a CMS section. Now that we have a CMS section, we need to define who can add pages to that section. When Scribus is installed, the installer not only places files, etc., it also creates 3 different roles specific to Scribus CMS. The first role is Content Editor. This role is the one that you would assign to people who can enter content but who cannot publish it to the community. Content editors can add pages and edit pages. A content publisher can do the same things as a content editor, but they can also delete pages, edit a page URL, and publish pages. And finally, there's a content administrator who is able to perform any CMS related operation. In this demonstration, I've added 3 different user accounts: a content administrator who has the content administrator role, a content editor, and content publisher. These are the accounts that you'll see me using during this video. Now let's pretend that I am a content editor who needs to enter a page. I'll log out of the site and sign in as the content editor. Then I'll just use this bookmark to pop back to the My Content area of the control panel. Note that we go straight to a CMS section if there's only one. If you had more than one CMS section, I would be asked to choose which one I want to go to. Creating a page is as simple as clicking the Create New Page link. When I do so, I go to a page editor, and the page editor is divided into 3 sections. The topmost section contains various fields where I can enter information such as the page title and page name. The middle section allows me to choose widgets to drop into the page and to choose a specific page layout. Note that on the widgets, as a content editor, I don't have that much of a selection. If I were in a different role that could access other widgets, those widgets would appear here and I could place them on the page. The bottom part of the page is where we lay out the widgets, and you'll notice that there's already a CMS Content Area widget. The CMS Content Area widget is the core widget for Scribus. It's just like any other widget. You can specify the border, and when you click the Properties link, you can actually edit your content. This is a TinyMCE editor. It's the same one that you see when you're entering a blog post or a forum post, and that means that in this area I can put in any HTML content that I want. And we'll say this is about our company. We'll just put some text in, but note that I could use these buttons up here to insert media, to insert images. I can access the HTML editor as necessary. I can make this look any way that I want. I'll go ahead and save it. You'll see here that the CMS content area now shows the information that I entered in through the editor. Let's go ahead and give this page a title. We'll call it About Us. We'll leave the page name blank and just let it default, and we'll put in some tags. As an editor, I have the option to save my work if I'm not yet done and I want to pick it up later, or I can submit it for review. Let's go ahead and save it. And now that it's saved, I'll click End Editing. That takes me back to the CMS section, and I'll just go to the list of pages. Note that pages have a state. There's one page in the CMS section, and it is in an in-progress state. That means that it's saved, and it's not yet ready for review. If I were to submit it for review, the state would change to ready to be published, and once someone has reviewed it and published it, the state would change to publish. I'm going to go ahead and edit this and just do something else. This is about our company, and it is good. Let's go ahead and save it, and now we're going to submit it for review. Let's go back to our page list. Alright, as a content editor, notice we've just incremented the version of the page. CMS pages are versioned. That applies not only to the widgets on the page and their content, but also the page layout. As an editor, I can edit as a content editor, I can edit the page, or I can look at the page history. Now let's pretend that I am a person who needs to review the content. I'll log in as the content publisher. As the content publisher, the first thing I could check is my conversations. I've got 2 conversations. Let's take a look at those. Here's the one about welcome to the community. I'll get rid of that. I don't need that anymore. The other one is please review about us for publishing, and it is from content editor. Let's take a look. This is basically a conversation sent automatically by Scribus from the content editor to the content publishers saying that there's a page to be reviewed. I'll click the page link, and as the content publisher, I see the page. And if I wanted to, I could go look at the past version. I could edit the page, I could publish it, or I could just pop over to the CMS section or add another page. I like this page, but I think it needs a little bit more, so let's go ahead and edit the page. First of all, I'm going to switch to a page layout with a sidebar, and then I want to get people's feedback about what they think about our company. So I'm going to drop in a CMS content feedback widget. This is a widget that by default lets people rate a page, leave their name, website, and a comment, and shows the comments that have been left. And we're going to go ahead and change this to full border. Okay, I'm happy with this, so I'm going to publish it, and I'm going to stop editing. Alright, here is the published version of our page. This is good. You know, there's one thing though that I just don't like about this page, and that is the URL. Look at this URL. I've got the domain, pages, company, about us.aspx. This page is supposed to be at the root level. I don't want it nested down in these directories. So let's change that. I'll edit the page. I'll change the page name to /aboutus.aspx. When you're setting the URL of a page, it will be relative to its containing group. This prevents one editor or one publisher from overriding pages in a completely different CMS section. Let's go ahead and publish that. End editing. We come back to the page. Now we've got a URL that's a little more friendly. Actually, it's quite a bit more friendly. It's just aboutus.aspx right off the root. This concludes part 1. Please join me in part 2 where we show you dynamic content menus and code blocks.